Yo, what is up, guys? Today we're talking about the upcoming heavyweight fight between Marcin Tybura and Greg Hardy at UFC Fight Night, Thompson versus Neal. This fight is going to be very, very close. I'm going to tell you right now, the betting odds for this fight have Greg Hardy currently sitting around minus 115, minus 120, as a slight favorite to win this fight. Marcin Tybura, surprisingly, is a plus 100, literal underdog. I don't know how that's the case. I would have them as literally a 50-50 coin toss, but I don't know why they have Greg Hardy as a slight favorite to win this one. If you look at where the betting odds were at just a couple of days ago, Marcin Tybura was the favorite to win the fight. He started off the betting odds at minus 135, which makes you think, why did it swing all the way from minus 135 all the way to plus 100? That's just a little bit weird. But yeah, those are the betting odds for this fight. It's a very, very close fight. Marcin Tybura is the 15th best heavyweight fighter in the world. Greg Hardy is the 23rd best heavyweight fighter in the world. Marcin Tybura is on a 3-fight win streak, all 3 wins coming by unanimous decision, all this year against Sergey Spivak, Maxim Grishin, and Ben Rothwell. Greg Hardy is on a 2-fight win streak against Yorgan De Castro, Maurice Green, both of them by TKO and unanimous decision. They're both similar ages. Marcin Tybura is 35 years old. Greg Hardy is 32 and a half years old. They have similar heights, similar reaches, sort of, but definitely Greg Hardy has the advantages there. Marcin Tybura is 6'3" tall. Greg Hardy 6'5" tall. And then Greg Hardy has a reach of 80.5 inches. Marcin Tybura has a reach of 78 inches. So definite advantages there for Greg Hardy in this fight. Alright guys, so as I said at the beginning of the video, Greg Hardy is currently sitting around minus 120 as a slight favorite to win this fight. Marcin Tybura is currently sitting around plus 100, even in the minuses, just a little at minus 105, somewhere around there, as a slight underdog to win this fight. But if you look at those Tapology predictions, it's a little bit different than the betting odds suggest, and rightfully so, because 56% of the votes are going for Marcin Tybura to win the fight, mainly by unanimous decision, and some people obviously are having Marcin Tybura win the fight by knockout, but I am saying that if Marcin Tybura wins the fight, it's going to be by unanimous decision. That is the way he usually likes to win the fight. He usually likes to dominate the fight and get 30-27s on all judges' scorecards and get that unanimous decision. Greg Hardy, he's a little bit different. He likes to go out there and try to get a knockout in the first or second round, and that is exactly what these Tapology predictions are saying. 44% of the vote going for Greg Hardy, mostly by KO in the first or second round, and then obviously we have some people saying he's going to win the fight by submission, and some people do think he's going to win the fight by unanimous decision. Alright guys, so the reason Marcin Tybura might be an underdog in this one is just because there's so much hype on Greg Hardy right now. A lot of people might be like, oh my god, Greg Hardy is looking so good right now, let's make him the favorite. Marcin Tybura, he doesn't have that type of hype because he doesn't have the style that most fans really like. He's more of a wrestler, ground and pound him, kind of tires opponent out just like he did in the last fight against Ben Rothwell. But he's a very good fighter, in my opinion, even better than Greg Hardy. You look at his career, he started his career back in 2011 with 4 straight wins in Poland Regional. He got a decision win over Sisman Bajor, a nice win, a first-round TKO, a first-round knockout, a first-round rear naked choke submission win, a third-round knockout, a first-round south choke, and then a first-round rear naked choke submission win. Lost his next fight to Stefan Puetz by third-round stoppage. Came out with a first-round leg injury win over Ante Delija, who also got a shot inside the UFC a couple of months ago. After that win over Ante Delija, he got a shot inside the UFC against Timothy Johnson. Lost the fight by unanimous decision, but came back after that loss to Timothy Johnson with a second-round head KO win over Victor Pesta, a third-round TKO win over Luis Henrique, and then obviously that unanimous decision win in 2017 over Andrei Arlovsky. Lost his next fight to Fabricio Werdum in a big step up in competition by unanimous decision. Lost his next fight as well to Derek Lewis, a top 10 heavyweight in the world, by third-round knockout. Came back after that with a unanimous decision win over Stefan Struve. Lost his next fight to Shamil Abdurrahimov by second-round knockout, and his next fight to Augusto Sakai, who was recently in a main event with Alistair Overeem by first-round knockout. But since then, obviously, he's been on that 3-fight win streak against Sergey Spivak, Maxim Grishin, and Ben Rothwell, all by unanimous decision. Alright guys, now let's take a look at his opponent, Greg Hardy, who doesn't have as much experience as Marcin Tybura, and that the only reason that he doesn't have as much experience as Marcin Tybura is he used to be, I believe, a defensive lineman or a defensive end inside the NFL. He was an absolute beast on the football field. He's an absolute beast in the cage as well. He's currently 7-2, only 2 losses in his pro MMA career. Started his career back in 2018 on Dana White's Contender Series with a first-round knockout win over over Austin Lane. The UFC was like, alright, he's got a first round knockout on the Contender Series. It was only a minute into that first round. We didn't really see enough to actually sign Greg Hardy, so they put him on another Dana White Contender Series fight against Tybura Gordon. In another fight, he won by first round knockout. The UFC was still somehow like, alright, let's not sign him yet, even though he's already got 2 wins on Dana White's Contender Series. So he ended up leaving Dana White's Contender Series, where he got another first-round knockout in under 1 minute of the very first round against Rasheem Jones. Finally got that shot inside the UFC. And then he ended up fighting Alan Crowder in a fight. He actually lost by second-round stoppage because he ended up losing the fight because he threw an illegal knee in the middle of the second round. And that was his first ever pro MMA loss. He did come back after that loss to Alan Crowder with a first-round TKO win over Dmitry Smolakov, and then a first-round TKO win over Juan Adams, and then he had a weird fight against Ben Sassoli. In a fight he was actually winning for the most part, but a little controversy struck as in between one of the rounds, he was using an inhaler, which I believe is banned by the UFC, and so he was actually given a no contest on that fight, because he was winning the fight. He would have won the fight by unanimous decision had he not using that inhaler in between rounds. So he did come back after that loss to Juan Adams with a no contest against Ben Sassoli, and then got a big step up in competition in his next fight against Alexander Volkov, a humongous step up in competition, but lost that fight by unanimous decision in a very good fight by Greg Hardy, but then he came back after that loss to Alexander Volkov in 2020 with a decision win over Yorgan De Castro and a second round TKO win over Mari Screen. I mean, both of these fighters are absolutely amazing heavyweights. I can't wait to see what happens in this fight. Alright guys, so Marcin Tybura, my guy, 20-6, an amazing heavyweight record. He's on a 3-fight win streak against Sergey Spivak, Maxim Grishin, and Ben Rothwell. I just rewatched that Ben Rothwell fight. I mean, Marcin Tybura had an amazing strategy to win that fight. He literally, the first and second round, he didn't really do anything at all. I mean, till the end of that second round, he started to pick up the pace. But the first round, he let Ben Rothwell go out there and throw as many big, powerful shots as he could. Some of them landing just a little bit, but on his glove. I mean, Marcin Tybura only threw like 10 to 15 shots in that very first round. And he really tired Ben Rothwell out in that first round. In the second and third round, Ben Rothwell was basically out of energy, and Marcin Tybura, all he would do was look at him, wait for him to throw a big hooking right hand, and just take him down and dominate him on the ground. I mean, after that fight, Ben Rothwell looked like, I don't know, Freddy Krueger had just attacked him and ripped his face open. That was absolutely insane. Greg Hardy is kind of like a Ben Rothwell, where he goes out there and tries to throw those big, humongous, whooping shots at his opponent and try to knock them out in the first or second round. He already has, I believe, 5 or 6 knockouts in his career so far inside the UFC and on Dana White's Contender Series, so he knows how to do the Ben Rothwell strategy, which really plays into the hand of Marcin Tybura, who likes to wait for someone that does that type of strategy on him and tire them out and then take them down in the second and third round and dominate them. And I don't think Greg Hardy's going to necessarily tire out in this fight, but I do think Marcin Tybura is going to use one of those big whooping shots from Greg Hardy to get a takedown in one of these rounds, and I think that's how he's going to win the fight by unanimous decision, because he's going to take advantage of those big shots of Greg Hardy and just go for takedown after takedown after takedown after takedown, and his ground and pound is absolutely insane, and that is why I have the underdog and Marcin Tybura winning this fight by unanimous decision. Alright guys, so as I said, in the middle of this video, the only reason they really have Greg Hardy as the favorite to win this fight is because of that first round, but that is where I said Marcin Tybura is going to be playing the most safe, because he knows Greg Hardy's going to go out there and try to get that knockout, and that's probably why a lot of people do think that Greg Hardy's going to win the fight, is just because he has so much power in his hands, and he literally always lands inside the UFC. Only one time has he not landed a knockout inside his pro MMA career. That is absolutely insane, but I think this is another one of those fights where Greg Hardy is not going to be able to land against a top 15 heavyweight fighter in the world. Against Marcin Tybura. That's why I have him winning the fight by unanimous decision. But what do you guys think is going to happen? Do you think Marcin Tybura is going to get knocked out in the first round? Do you think Marcin Tybura is going to dominate the fight and get a unanimous decision win? I'd love to see what you guys think. Put that in the comment section below. If you like this video, make sure to like the video. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. If you like my content and you want to see more of it, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you don't miss when I I post a new video. I post videos almost every single day. LFA, UFC, Bellator, Invicta FC. There are so many fight promotions out there that I do predictions for. If there's any fight promotion out there that I'm not doing a prediction for, if you want me to do a prediction for them, I will most gladly do it. Just put which promotion you want me to do predictions for in the comment section below. This has been a very fun video, but I'm out of here.